First things first, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Pascal Manigat for winning YCS Houston. And I figured if nobody in their right mind do not know how to play against both Goblin Biker and Memento, because that's what his winning deck list is looking like, then it's basically we will have to cover both archetypes at the same time. I do not know how long this video is going to be at the time recording that this video is getting posted and all, but we'll come across through the Goblin Biker cards by any means necessary. So I want to make sure that everything is all set in stone. So yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. And I already know for the fact that based off from this list that there are a few missing Goblin cards in terms of what's to relate and all, none whatsoever. But I just want to go through in terms of the Goblin Biker good stuff, and then we can just pretty much get this over with. Okay, so there's definitely a few, or at least like 2 or 3 missed out, but I digress. We'll go over the Goblin Biker good stuff, and I already know for the fact that there's one missing from this attendance crew, but we'll just get that out the way. So, Goblin Bikers, in order for you to play the game with this deck, they are all about XZ summoning style, and they are all about stripping away the XZ materials by any means necessary. We're going to start with the main deck, and then we will work our way to extra. And we are going to cover every last card in terms of the attendance of both Goblin Biker and Memento. Goblin Bikers Gone Wild. Level 6, Dark Fiend, 2400 attack, no defense. If you control no monsters or all monsters you control are goblin monsters, you can normal summon this without tributing each of the following effects once. Upon no more special 1 level 4 or lower goblin monster from your deck. So E-Tellies. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard, doesn't matter how it's sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 card anywhere on the field, plus 1 material to 1 Goblin XZ you control. Seems pretty bananas. Goblin Biker Doug Charger. Level 3 Earth Warrior for some reason. Also, Rota target. 1600 attack, no defense. If this card is in your hand, detach 1 from a monster on either field, and if you do, special this card out. Upon no more special, add 1 Goblin Biker spell trap from deck to hand, each effect once. Goblin Biker Boom Mock. Level 3 Wind Warrior, 1300 attack, no defense. Also, another Rota target. Once per chain during the main phase, if this card is in your hand or graveyard as a quick effect, detach 1 material from a monster on either field, and if you do, special this out. Also, you can't special Goblin Biker Boom Mock until the end of the next turn. Goblin Biker Clatter Sploder. Level 3 Fire Beast Warrior. Hey, tanky. 1500 attack, no defense. Upon no more special, target 1 goblin monster in your graveyard that's not Clatter Sploder. Free special it. So this is the reborn of goblins. During your opponent's main phase, if this card is in your graveyard as a quick effect, okay, so basically the way how Goblin Bikers work is to strip away the XZ materials so that way they can summon themselves. So the stripping away the material, according to Clatter Sploder, is that Clatter Sploder has to be in a graveyard for this to work, and it is a quick effect. And if you do, special this, but banish it whenever it leaves. You can use each effect of Clatter Sploder once. Goblin Biker, Mean Merciless. Upon no more special one Goblin monster from your hand that's not Mean Merciless. And then during your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, strip away a material from an XZ monster on either field, summon this card, but banish it whenever it leaves. To get around those types of restriction, obviously, XZ summon like no tomorrow, specifically these two, so that way they do not get banished. The Goblin spells. Goblin Biker, Grand Breakout. Quick play spell. Tribute one monster. Special one Goblin monster from your deck, but it cannot attack this turn. When a monster declares an attack, you can banish this from your grave and detach any number of materials from a Goblin XZ monsters you control. All monsters your opponent currently controls lose 1000 attack for each material detached until the end of this turn. Each effect once. Goblin Biker, Grand Entrance. Normal spell. Each effect once. Add one Goblin monster from deck to hand, then you can apply the following effect. Detach one from either field, special one level 4 or lower, Goblin monster from your hand. Basically, this is what I like to call the normal spell version, aka Goblin version, of Sangan Kaiman. You search one, and if there is an XZ monster anywhere on the field, strip away one material, free special. And then you can banish this from your grave, detach one from a monster on either field, then you can add one Goblin monster from your grave to your hand. Seems pretty good on a recursion. Goblin Biker, Grand Bash. Continuous spell. Goblin monsters you control gain 300 attack for each Goblin monster you control, so stat boosting's nice. During your main phase, you can normal summon one Goblin monster in addition to your normal summon set, so double summon of goblins. The double summon effect is once per turn, and then you can target 2 Goblin monsters you control, then activate one of these effects. Make the level of one of those monsters become the current level of the other, or both of their levels become their combined original levels. And that effect is once per turn. Goblin Biker Traps. Goblin Biker Grand Pile Up. Normal trap. Target one XZ monster you control, special one Goblin XZ from your extra deck by using that target as material. And if you do, +1 material. You can banish this from your grave, target one Goblin XZ monster you control and one card in either graveyard, +1 material. So basically, either result leads to +1 material by any means. Goblin Biker Grand Stampede. Continuous trap. During the main phase, you can, once resolve, put up an XZ summon of one XZ monster using only Goblin monsters. If you control a Goblin XZ, You can target one effect monster anywhere on the field, detach one XZ material from a monster on either field, and if you do, negate that monster's effects until the end of this turn. One effect per turn, and only once that turn, so one effect or the other, can't do both. Goblin Biker Grand Crisis. You could target one goblin monster you control and one monster your opponent controls, or target one goblin monster in your graveyard and one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Banish both monsters. Seems pretty nice of a continuous trap in terms of removals. You can send this face-up card from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard, then target 5 of your banished goblin monsters with different names, special them. Return from a different dimension of goblins? That's crazy. You can only use one effect per turn and only once that turn, so one effect or the other, can't do both. And knowing that goblins are basically XZs, so let me go ahead and do some filter on the goblin XZs. You have Troika Gruyere, rank 3 light warrior XZ, 2+ level 3s to make it. While 3 or more XZ materials are attached to this, goblin monsters can direct attack. Once per turn, if a monster's more than one is normal or special while this card is in a monster zone outside of the damage step, you can target one of those monsters, detach one from either field, and if you do, change the targeted monster's battle position. Once per turn, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, detach one from either field, negate that attack. Goblin's Crazy Beast, rank 6 Fiend XZ of a Dark, 2+ level 6 monsters to make it. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can target one spell trap anywhere on the field, detach 2 at the same time on the field, and if you do, attach that target to this, so +1 material. If a monster's more than one you control will be destroyed by a card effect, you can detach one instead, so saving grace. If this card is in your graveyard, you can special this, then +1 material of a goblin monster from your graveyard to this card. Each effect of Crazy Beast once per duel, aka one time only. Well, the reborn effect is one time only. Goblin Biker Gone Bonkers, 2+ level 6 as a dark fiend to make it, and I forgot about the stat lineups, so sorry. 1700 attack, no defense for Troika. 2700 attack, no defense for Crazy Beast. 2500 attack, 2000 defense of a Dark Fiend rank 6 that takes 2 or more level 6s to make it. You can target face-up monsters your opponent controls up to the number of goblin monsters you control, detach one from a monster you control, and if you do, attach those monsters, so more material. During your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of goblin XZs you control, detach 3 at the same time from a monsters you control, and if you do, send, not destroy, but send those targeted cards to the graveyard. Each effect of Gone Bonkers once per turn. Goblin Biker Big Gabonga, If this card sticks, you're raring to go for Goblin Bikers. 2 level 3s in general to make it as a Light Beast Warrior XZ, 2100 attack, no defense. First chance Big Gabanga is XZ Shoken, add 1 Goblin monster from deck to hand. Seems pretty good. If material is detached from a monster's, more than one, anywhere on the field outside of the damage step, you can target 1 face-up monster anywhere on the field that's not the card itself, plus 1 material. During the end phase, plus 1 material of a goblin monster from your deck to this card as material. Each effect once. When it comes to Goblin Bikers, if I recall the archetype correctly in terms of Goblin Bikers, as we are about to do some studying. Okay, so some are fiends, some are warriors, and then one's a beast warrior. So basically they can play around a few things in terms of there can be only one, but to tell you the truth, the barrier, aka dimensional barrier, is the better card against Goblin Biker to call on XZ, so that way they cannot go straight into Big Gabanga, Crazy Beast, or any other Goblin XZs for that matter. Onwards to Memento. In order for you to play the game with this deck, they are all about literally nothing but destruction by any means. So let's go over the destruction of Mementos. And once again, we're going to start backwards and then we will work our way up. Memento Talan Gaddick. Level 2 Dark Fiend, 550 attack, 400 defense. Upon no more special, target 1 Memento card in your graveyard that isn't Gaddick, add it back to the hand. So, recursion. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a Memento Monsters effect, free specialist. Each effect once. Akihiron, level 5, Water Aqua, 1700 attack, 1400 defense. Upon no more special, activate this. This turn, level 9 or higher Memento monsters can direct attack. Upon being destroyed by a card effect, you can target 1 of your other Memento cards that is banished or in your graveyard, spell/trap included, add it back to your hand. If a Memento monster's more than 1 in your hand and or face-up field gets killed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, free specialist. You can use each effect once. Memento Talan Goblin. Level 1 Dark Fiend, 400 both ways. Each effect once per turn. During the main phase, if you control a Memento Tekatika, Slika, Combined Creation, excuse the butchering, it's been a long week for one. So basically, if you control Combined Creation as a quick effect, you can discard this. For the rest of this turn, your opponent cannot target Memento monsters you control within card effects. During your main phase, you can kill 1 Memento monster you control, and if you do, send up to 2 Memento cards with different names from each other from your deck to the graveyard, except Goblin. Memento Talan Mace. Level 1 Light Fairy, 400 attack, 300 defense. Also, before we go on to the audience out there, I literally realized this as I was reading the Memento monsters. Their art forms are basically the vanillas. So most cases about the mace, during your opponent's main phase, if you control Combined Creation as a quick effect, you can discard this, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, snatch steal until the end of the end phase. During your main phase, you can kill one Memento monster you control, and if you do, add one Memento card from deck to hand that isn't mace. Each effect once. Memento to land Horned Dragon. If you have 3 or more Memento monsters with different names in your graveyard, free special from your hand, and then once per turn this way on a special, if this card on the field gets killed by a card effect, you can target 3 face-up cards anywhere on the field, including a Memento card you control, kill them. And that spot removal effect is once per turn. Memento to land Dark Blade. Upon no more special, discard one Memento card, target one spell trap your opponent controls, kill it. So spot removal of back row. And then during your main phase, you can kill one Memento monster you control. And if you do, special one level 3 or lower Memento from your deck. So E-Telly's a Memento monster. Memento to land Tatsunu Toshigo. Level 5 Earth Beast, 1350 attack, 1600 defense. If you do not control any face-up monsters other than Memento monsters, free special this card from your hand. And this next effect, do not let Tatsunu Toshigo resolves. If it does, you are completely screwed. During your main phase, you can destroy one Memento monster you control and send any number of Memento monsters, more than one, with different names, from your deck to the graveyard, whose total levels are less than or equal to the destroyed monster's original level. Once again, do not let Tatsunu Toshigo resolve this effect, because if it does, you are screwed so bad. Each effect once. Memento to land Sleepy. Level 3 Earth Beast, 800 attack, 1000 defense. During the turn a monster's, more than one, in your possession was killed by a card effect as a quick effect, free special from your hand. Upon no more special, you can perform a fusion shogun of one Memento fusion monster, so acts as polymerization basic, and then upon being destroyed by battle or card effect, send one Memento card, spell / trap included, from your deck to the graveyard except Sleepy itself. Each effect once. Memento to land Anguish. Level 3 Dark Spellcaster, 800 attack, 1000 defense. Each effect once per turn. Upon no more special, add one Memento monster from deck to hand that's not Anguish, and then you can target one level 2 or lower Memento monster in your graveyard, kill one Memento monster you control, and if you do, reborn the monster. The gigantic Memento Tekulika, excuse the butchering, Combined Creation. Level 11 Earthworm, 5000 flat both ways. Talk about being the most gigantic, literally. can't be normal summon set must be specialed from your hand or graveyard by shuffling 5 other Memento monsters with different names from your hand and or graveyard into the main or extra deck, and no other ways to summon. While you control no other monsters, this card can swing multiple monsters once each. Once per turn, if your opponent activates a card or effect outside of the damage step, free special 1 Memento monster from your hand or graveyard. Seems pretty bananas. Memento spells and traps. Memento Talan Bone Party. Quick play spell. Kill 1 Memento in your hand or face-up field. Take 1 Memento monster from your deck with a different name and either add it to your hand or special it in defense. So it's Rhoda or E-Telly a Memento. During your main phase, you can banish this from your grave, target 1 Memento monster you control. If it attacks a defense monster, pierce battle damage. Each effect once. Memento Talan Fusion. During the main phase, aside from the fusion Shoken shtick, in terms of using mementos, if a monster's more than one in your possession was killed by a card effect this turn, you can also shuffle memento monsters from your graveyard into the deck as material. During your main phase, you can banish this from your grave, kill 1 monster you control, and if you do, add 1 memento spell trap from deck to hand. Each effect of the fusion once per turn. Memento Mictlan. Memento Mictlan. If your Memento monster battles, your opponent cannot activate spell trap cards until the end of the damage step, so built-in ancient gears. If a monster's more than one you control gets killed by a battle or card effect, you can target one of those monsters, special 1 Memento monster with a lower level from your hand or graveyard. That effect is once per turn, and then once per turn during your end phase, you can target 1 Memento spell trap in your graveyard, reset button it. Crazy field spell if you ask me. Memento Talan Boneback. Quick play spell. If a face-up Memento monsters more than one you control leaves the field just because of an opponent's card, special 1 combine creation from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning condition. If your opponent moves a Memento monsters out of the graveyard while this card is in your graveyard outside of the damage step, you can banish this, special summon as many Memento monsters as possible with different names from your hand and or deck. Okay, Boneback is beyond a hot mess, and each effect of Boneback once per turn. Memento Traps. Memento Talan Cranium Burst. Continuous Trap. While you control a Memento monster, your opponent's monsters that can attack must attack the Memento monster you control within the highest attack, their choice if tied. When your opponent activates a monster effect anywhere on the field outside of the damage step, you can target 1 combined creation you control. It loses exactly 1,000 stats, and if it does, negate that activated effect. You can only use the effect of Cranium Burst once per chain, not once per turn, once per chain, which is crazy. Memento Talan Fracture Dance. Normal trap. If you control a Memento monster, target 1 card anywhere on the field, kill it. Then, if you control Combined Creation, you can destroy 1 more card anywhere on the field. So double the destruction. When an attack is declaring involving your Memento monster and an opponent's monster, you can banish this from your graveyard. All monsters your opponent currently controls lose 1000 attack until the end of this turn. Each effect of Fractured Ants once. And then extra deck for the fusions. Memento Talan Twin Dragon, level 7 Light Thunder Fusion, 2800 attack, 2100 defense. 2 Memento monsters to make it. Any monster gets killed by battle with your Memento monster is banished. Gross. You can use each of the following effects once per turn. First chance Twin Dragon is Fusion Shoken. Kill 1 Memento monster in your hand or face-up field, and if you do, add up to 2 Memento monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. This is another one of those do not let Twin Dragon resolve in terms of getting more pluses. Upon the destruction of this Fusion Shoken card, you can special 1 level 6 or lower Memento monster from your graveyard, so Reborn. Memento Mictlan Tekutlika Creation King. Level 9 Earth Illusion Fusion Hot Rhymes. That takes 3 Memento monsters to make it. If this card resolves, you are basically screwed by any means necessary. Second most card to resolve of all cards next to Tatsunu Toshigo. Do not let any of this resolves ever. You can banish this from your graveyard and 1 Memento Mictlan, aka Field Spell, from deck to hand. This is basically your Balings of Mementos. And then you can activate the following effects of Creation King within the same chain. First chance, this card gets Fusion Shoken, and this is where, if for some reason they can still play, even if they stop Tatsunu Toshigo, you are screwed. So do not let Tatsunu Toshigo or Creation King resolve this effect specifically. Do not let this effect resolve. If it does, you literally lose. First chance the card gets Fusion Shoken, you can send 3 Memento cards from your main and or extra deck to the graveyard, copies of the card included. As a quick effect, you can target an equal number of Memento monsters you control and cards your opponent controls, kill them. You can use each effect of Creation King once per turn. And if you want to stop Memento in terms of letting them play the game, Dimensional Barrier, calling Fusion, so that way they cannot go into Creation King or Twin Dragon doing so. And when it comes to the specific cards, knowing that the new Memento stuff is out, do not let Tatsunu Toshigo resolve. And if they have Fusion good to go, you could just straight up Dominus Impulse that, because Fusion Shoken is special summons, basically. And when it comes to Pascal's YCS Houston winning list, the only thing in common between these guys in terms of the Goblin Biker and Memento is that Dimensional Barrier calling Fusion or XZ to make sure that none of those plays can be accelerated. Like if they call Fusion, cool, they can still do the XZ route with Goblin Bikers. Or if you call XZ versus Goblin Bikers, cool, they can do Memento strats at this point. So basically, use Dimensional Barrier at the proper time doing so, if you want to stop either Goblin Biker or Mementos, for that matter. And then when it comes to the real key parts of Memento, in terms of don't let stuff resolve, once again, ladies and gentlemen, do not let Tatsunu Toshigo resolve. Do not let Creation King resolve. And if you were to expect the fusion being searched, have your Dominus Impulse ready from the get-go, so that way they shouldn't be able to fusion Shogun. And then as for the Goblin Biker strategies, focus on Big Kabanga as much as you can, as in, don't let Big Kabanga stick on the field for too long. Otherwise, Big Kabanga is a hot mess. And this has been James Polk going over the Goblin Biker and Memento archetypes in terms of the winning list, all from YCS Houston. And again, this winning list is from the TCG specifically. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Smash the notification bell to keep yourself constantly updated. Also, if you are a brand new or returning Master Duel player after one full month of missing gameplay, be sure to use my campaign code in the description below so we can gather the prizes for more future content. Catch you guys next time.